So what's the best Apple Watch strap to work out with? I've been using these devices for over 3 years, and I can definitely tell you. On Apple's website, it looks like there's dozens of bands, but in reality, there's really only 3 sporty ones. The Sport Band, the Nike Sport Band, and the Sport Loop. I've done dozens of workouts with every one of these loops or watch straps over the last 3 years, and my personal pick is the Sport Loop, for how I exercise anyways. And if you are wondering, Monty is actually wearing one of my Apple Watches. Doesn't do anything for him, but he's got it on. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to go over what I do and don't like about the different sporty bands, compare them against other sport bands that I've used with the Apple Watches and other devices, and the last thing I will do is compare the sports band against an Apple Milanese loop as well as a nylon watch strap, just to round out this review. So let's get started. Real usage, real reviews. Mobile Reviews A.ca. At Mobile Reviews A, Monty and I base all our reviews on actual usage, which means we'll take the time to use different products, even if it means getting incredibly annoyed at them. For watch straps, the only thing we could do was, well, use them in our workouts and daily lives. I really wasn't planning on doing this video, as I told myself when the Apple Watch first came out. There's no way I'm paying for more than just one watch strap, but somewhere along the last 3 years, I've managed to pick up all but the leather watch straps from Apple. So much money wasted on watch straps. Now, when it comes to working out, my go-to is to perform constantly varied functional movements at high intensity, which makes it pretty hard for me to keep my Apple Watch on all the time, in the same spot, because grinding my Apple Watch against a concrete floor is probably going to happen one of these days. My arms go through a range of different movements every day, so that means the Apple Watch goes through a range of different movements every single day. So having the right strap on my wrist computer is pretty important. Now, Apple's own sport bands are really hard to beat. I've used a variety of other bands, and none of them even come close to the ease of what Apple offers. The standout feature for me is just how easy it is to adjust the straps. With other smartwatches like the Fitbit Versa, I found myself getting really annoyed halfway through a workout because the straps felt stuck to my skin. The moment I felt that that was the case with the Apple Watch, I just quickly make an adjustment. You can't do that easily with the Versa or other third-party bands. Now, this sport band is the basic band that came with the original Apple Watches, and this is actually the first band that showed me that I could use a laptop and wear a watch at the same time, which is kind of nice, something I couldn't have done before easily without scratching my laptops. Now, when I'm working out, this is my least favorite band. Why? Because sweat tends to accumulate in the middle of the band. I call this phenomenon the sweaty band feel. I also found myself having to take the watch off completely after each workout just to wipe off all the sweat that accumulated along the back. Now, the strap you're looking at is the one that came with the original Apple Watch, and this was the thing that actually impressed me the most about the device. I was extremely surprised at how good the strap felt, how easy it was to adjust, and how secure it felt. No other fitness-based device I've come across has this strap design feature. The closest is the Microsoft Band 2, which apparently was a side project for Microsoft since they made like 5, and I bought one of them and they don't make them anymore, which is too bad because it's a decent device. The watch strap on the Microsoft Band 2 was probably the closest that I would say in terms of ease of use. Now, for the Nike Sport Band, it's basically a regular sport band with a bunch of holes in it. This band allows for a bit more color, so if you think you need to accessorize your Apple Watch, then maybe definitely get the Sport Band. And the holes actually address my biggest issue with the Sport Band, which minimizes the sweaty band feel. The holes in the band offer a bit more air to reach your skin, so you can actually focus more on your workout rather than thinking that, well, your Apple Watch is kind of sticking to your skin. Now, if you're a swimmer or a really sweaty person, this Nike Sport Band is going to be the band you should get because, well, it's not made out of fabric, which is why you wouldn't want to go swimming with the Sport Loop that's on Monty's neck. More on this band in a second. Basically, everything that I've said for the original Sport Band will also go for the Nike Sport Band. On to the Sport Loop, and this is my favorite Apple Watch strap to work out with. This was one of the newer bands that was introduced with the Series 3 Apple Watch, and it's, again, as I said, my favorite to work out with. It's even quicker to adjust than the sport bands and doesn't really suffer from sweaty band feel at all because the strap never really sits 100% on your skin. The Velcro pieces allow for a bit more airflow between the band and your skin, which is really nice. I was actually concerned that the fabric watch band would start smelling after a while, but it's held up quite well given the fact that I haven't gone out of my way to clean it, and I've basically worn it every day for the last 8 months. excellent. As a side note, this is the most comfortable Apple Watch band I've used to date because of the materials. There are a couple of bands that share the same loop design, namely the leather loop and the Milanese loop, and they are just as comfortable because you can set the tension just right. Most watch straps have predetermined notches that aren't as flexible. Some days you'll notice that your non-looped Apple Watch strap is just too loose, and the tighter notch just doesn't feel right. You'll never have that problem with these loop-based watch straps. As a downside, this watch strap is made from fabric, so it will absorb water quite easily. I'm not a very sweaty person when I work out, and I don't swim, so my Apple Watch never really gets damp or wet. It does take time to dry out if you do get it wet, so if you are very sweaty or swim a lot, don't go with the Sport Loop, go with the Nike Sport Band. If you're finding this video useful considering getting your stuff through my Amazon links, this video is completely unsponsored, and basically it's taken 3 years of random notes to actually create this video, which is kind of fun to see it progress over those years. So if you enjoy watching this video or it was helpful, consider supporting me for future videos so that I can make another Apple Watch strap video in 3 years. Now you might be thinking Apple's watch straps are actually very expensive, and they absolutely are. This Milanese loop this thing cost me almost 300 bucks Canadian. So it's brutal. So you could definitely go buy knockoff versions on Amazon of the Sport Band, and they would probably not last as long, but you could do that. I've used other sport bands that aren't, direct knockoffs of Apple's designs or whatever they sell in the Apple Store. I've got Catalyst straps that I've used. I've used this Clayco strap a bit, as well as, I couldn't find it for this video because it wasn't very good, a Lunatic sports strap when Lunatic was still around. Now, out of all the products that don't copy Apple's designs, the biggest thing that you're missing out is just the ease of use, right? It's just so incredibly easy to adjust the watch using an Apple Watch Sport Band or Nike Band or Sport Loop when compared to some of these other things. The Catalyst Sports Band is probably your best alternative, as it offers the same breathability as the Nike Sport Band, but is incredibly hard to adjust on the fly. I've never been worried about losing my Apple Watch because of the strap, but if you are, the Catalyst Sports Band has a latch that is going to offer more security in terms of keeping the device on your wrist. Now, when I saw the Clayco band, I was very excited because, well, it just looked very functional, but the gigantic loop at the bottom of the band reminded me why I don't like watches. I can definitely feel the loop while I use my laptop. I know companies try to be different and unique, but there are just some things that are just worth copying from Apple, like the size of the loop. Come on. From my perspective, a great Apple Watch strap would have the hard shell protection of the Clayco strap with the ease of the use of Apple sports bands. So anybody making Apple Watch straps, those are just my 2 cents. So how about working out with the Milanese loop and the nylon bands? Personally, I wouldn't recommend working out with either, but if I really had to choose, I'd go with the Milanese loop because it operates in a similar fashion to the sports loop. You can easily adjust the size of the Milanese loop to fit your liking. This is the only loop-based strap that I would use in a swimming pool as well. It's metal, so it'll dry off quite easily. None of this matters if you think that spending $200 on this watch strap is stupid. Now, I'm showing you 2 different looking loops in this band. One is a knockoff and the other one is the really expensive one. I have done a pretty detailed comparison video between the two, so if that's of interest to you, do check out that video. The one strap I wouldn't work out with at all is the nylon strap. This is a normal watch strap that sits either too loose or too tight on my hand. It isn't easy to adjust on the fly and gets pretty sweaty during a workout. Having it bounce around on my hand during a workout is extremely distracting. For example, I suck at skipping and generally try to blame everything except my own physical ability for my poor skipping skills. So using the nylon band with my Apple Watch while I skip is just the worst. For me, the only reason I would get a nylon band is to match my watch band to my outfit, but since I'm an $8 t-shirt guy and I only wear jeans that are on sale, what my watch strap looks like doesn't really matter to me. Now with that being said, despite being an $8 t-shirt and a $20 pair of jeans guy, I've got a lot of watch bands that I could theoretically go and accessorize with my daily outfits. So I guess, I don't know, hypocrite. So the first time you watch my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. I produce content approximately once a week, and they're generally really high quality videos from my perspective anyways. So do click subscribe so that you can stay on top of all the stuff that I produce. This is Monty the Ho. He is my co-host, and yes, he's still wearing an Apple Watch. I'm not quite sure I'm gonna take it off because it took a lot of effort to put it on him, but we'll figure that out after I turn off the camera. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down there.